All right, fifth graders, how's everybody doing? We're in the home stretch, right? All right, home stretch. This is the last video for a graded assignment. I will do one more video when we do the math puzzles next week, but that's not a graded, that's just for fun. This is the final test of the year. It's the end of unit test on the coordinate grids. There's going to be two parts. I'm going to tackle, there's three parts actually. There's three parts, but two of them are the same. I'm going to tackle the second and third ones first, and then we'll go back and discuss the first one. So, as you guys have been practicing for the last 2 weeks, we're going to be filling out an XY table based on an equation, and then we're going to be plotting the points. All right, so very simple, and this is, most of you have been getting the equations that are like 2x minus 1 or 2x plus 1. Those have been pretty easy. The ones that I think that have been giving you guys trouble is either the ones with the decimal or this one with the fraction, half x. So again, we're going to take the number under the x table and we're going to plug it into the x right there. So now for the first one, instead of having y equals half x, I'm going to use 2 in place of the x, which means half of 2, right, plus 1. So half of 2 is 1, right? If we divide 2 in half, it's 1. So now we have 1 plus 1 equals 2. Okay, so when we take this x number and plug it into the equation right there, we end up getting 1 plus 1 is 2, because half of 2 is 1. All right, so now that we have the answer to this equation, after we plug the x number in, this now becomes our y. So we take this number and we put it into the y side of the table. Okay, now we're going to do the rest of them. Okay, when I plug 4 into x over here, we get half of 4 is 2, right? Half of 4 is 2, and then 2 plus 1 is 3. That means when x is 4, y is 3. Same thing with 6. When x is 6, we plug the 6 into here. 1/2 of 6 is 3, and 3 plus 1 is 4. And then lastly, when x is 8, we plug 8 into the x here. We get half of 8 is 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5. So now we've completed our XY table, and now we're ready to plot the points by typing an X onto the coordinate grid on your Google Doc. All right, so since I don't have them, I'm just going to approximate. But remember, the X is here. This is the X side right here, and this is the Y side up and down here. So the X always comes first, okay? When X is 2, Y is 2. So when X is 2, right here, y is 2, and I'm going to put a little mark there. So x is 2 and y is 2. When x is 4, y is 3. So when x is 4 along the bottom, and then we go up 3, so x is 4, y is 3. Now the next one is when x is 6, y is 4. So x is 6 along the bottom out to here, and then up to 4. Okay, does that look more like 5? Hold on. Let me go all the way out here. There we go. And then finally, when x is 8, y is 5. So all the way out here to 8 and all the way up to 5. And that kind of gives us our line for the equation. And it's that simple, okay? You take the x number, you plug it into the equation, you solve the equation depending on what number the x is, and then that becomes your y. Whatever the answer to the equation is your y. And your xy table should look like this. Then these are your coordinates. 2 and 2, 2 and 2, 4 and 3, 6 and 4, 8 and 5. And you just mark your x's. And that's it. The first part of the test is going to be reverse. In other words, you're going to have a bunch of letters marked over here. So let's do 3 right now. Let's do this and let's do this. Okay? So now what you're going to do is the first part, you're going to look at where the letter is on the coordinate grid, and you're going to tell me what the XY coordinate is. Remember, the X going across always comes first, okay? So the letter A, the X is 1. It's right here at the 1, right? So that means when you say what letter A is, it's going to be 1, and then the Y comes second. It's at 5, up and on the up and down part. This is the Y. So it's 1, comma 5. All right, the B is, this looks like on the X, it's up here by the 5. So the X is going to be 5. And it's just 2 up on the Y, so it's 5, comma 2. And then the last one is the C. The C is all the way here by the 4. Okay, that's where the C is on the 4, and all the way up to the 8. So it's going to be 4, comma 8. All right, so it's a pretty easy test. We've been going over all these things the past 2 weeks. The first part is going to be looking at the equation, filling out the XY table, and plotting the points with your X's. And then the first part is looking at the letter and telling me what coordinate each letter is at. And that's it. I am going to have a Google Meet for us on Wednesday. I will put it on the stream along with the link. Anybody who needs extra help, please come join me. We can go over all this before you have to tackle your test. All right, so good luck, and I will see you guys soon.